average price of a house in Canada is $811,000, up 85% in 6 years. If you own a house, you can say, well, that's pretty good. If you don't, it's hard to buy one. And secondly, if you sell, are Justin Liberals going to tax it? Dan McTeague was a federal Liberal MP for 19 years. He joins me right now because you know all about inflation, you know about house prices, and you know about that government in Ottawa. Are they going to be able to resist getting their mitts on the house increases?
You know, they've got a number of studies out there. They have former members asking that there be a tax on your initial, your primary residence. I think the bond holders, debt bond rating agencies are going to make that decision for the government very quickly, especially when you have this kind of situation where you add another $10 billion. Oops, we forgot to mention that in the last month's fiscal update.
With such debt,
yeah,
it's going to be hard pressed for them not to go.
I don't think they have much of a choice, because if you look at the economy outside of residential capital, there isn't a lot out there. Everything is declining, and I don't want to be one of these fear mongers, but other than residential debt and residential appreciation and residential capital, that's the only thing that's been going very well for the economy right now. And of course, it does leave a large number of people frozen out from their ability to buy. So I think the federal government's got to do something, and it obviously has a financial reason to do it.
Well, wait a second though, Dan. There's one group that's doing very, very well. It's the public service.
Of course.
They're doing extraordinarily well, and Trudeau was elected in 2015 saying we're going to reduce outside consultants, and they've gone up exponentially under him. Billions and billions spent on consultants. So if you're a public service or an outside consultant.
Or a pollster.
Or a pollster, you're in the money.
Yep.
But, and again, to pay for that though, what are people who are watching this now saying, well, I don't want to get taxed on this because it's not like in the States where it was tax deductible.
Yep.
What can they do?
Well, tax mortgage deductibility and things, we've been talking about that since 1979. I think the federal government is going to have to pull the trigger one way or another. Perhaps a tax, a percentage, as we're seeing from the University of British Columbia.
You don't agree with that, though?
No, of course not, because I think it masks the real distortion. You've put too much money into the mortgage acquisition by the central bank, which should have let off on the accelerator over a year ago. You've also got a situation where every municipal council in this country is basically saying, oh no, we can't have any more land. We have 400,000 people coming to this country, but we can't have any more land that can be developed. We have to every blade of grass in this country is pristine. For that reason, you have two problems, and they're not going to be resolved anytime soon, except for devaluation.
Well, there's another aspect to that, though. When you're talking about, urban sprawl, we could go for higher densities. There's nothing wrong with three-story buildings around.
No,
it used to be the case.
But look what's happened with Omicron. I mean, and with COVID. People don't want to be living very close to each other, even if that were not the case. The fact is, demand is outstripping supply, not because it's cheap mortgages, but also because we're looking at a scenario where there just is nowhere else to build. And you cannot continue to do this unless you are prepared to expect spillover effects, and spillover effects are much higher prices.
Dan McTeague, I love your smile, and you're a great guy, but that was really depressing. 3 minutes. Thank you. Thank you very, very much for watching and for engaging in the 3 minutes, which will carry you through most discussions for the day. 2022 is going to be a very, very tough year. Stay with us. Please tell your friends to subscribe and PayPal. Thanks.